I know that there's an awful lot of talk about disclosure. I know that in the exopolitics community there's a great deal of talk about disclosure. I personally don't believe the United States government's ever going to admit it. It'll probably come from another country, India or China, first. Or the extraterrestrials themselves are going to show themselves and just say, hey, this charade's gone on long enough, which is probably the highest probability at this point. In talking about solving the problems, at the very top of our power structure, the planet Earth lives in a pyramidal power structure. Extraterrestrial civilizations no longer use that power structure, the pyramidal power structure. They have been using a holographic ever since the end of the Orion Wars, okay, which would be in our linear time about 360,000 years ago. Since then, most of the civilized, benevolent civilizations, including some of the rogue regressive groups, and they are a minority, have been using a holographic social structure. And we're going to talk about that today. Okay? We're also going to talk about creating a new domain of knowing, a space in which we can create an opportunity for Earth to be mentored. Because we need some help here. We are a little bit in over our heads. Okay? So, it takes me a little while to warm up here. I'm a little rusty. As of the last several days, much of the Cassini project has been classified. The reason for that is because of all the mothership activity that has now been filmed and documented in the Saturnian system around Saturn. We also have 1.5 million miles off of the South Pole, a 20-mile craft that has sat and is stationary. NASA and other organizations, telescopes have been monitoring it for 8 months. They watched its trajectory to us. It is now stationary, and there are craft going in and out of this 20-mile structure. I don't know any more about it than that. I also want you to know that there is a very large planetary structure coming in, 18 degrees, right ascension of Neptune's orbit. It should be visible sometime in the next year. There is an awful lot going on, and of course, you're all paying the bills, and no one's being told anything about it. Now, it goes far deeper than spooking the herd. That is really not the intention here at all. Okay, the intention here, and what's really been going on, is simply this. Bob Dean made a reference yesterday to almost feeling sorry for the government about the situation that they're in. I would have to concur with him on that, in the fact that the government made some treaties, cut some deals for technology in exchange for experimentation and observation, and they were tricked. They really did not know what they were getting themselves into. And now the hand has been dealt. There are many people within the UFO community that say that all the extraterrestrials are benevolent. Ladies and gentlemen, it is in my own personal opinion and based on the knowledge that I have that that is completely irresponsible to say. We live in a duality. Because if it was all love and light, we would not be going down this road to global fascism and the powers that be wanting to eliminate 2/3 of the world's population. That is not love and light. Okay? So, we have a lot of things to cover, and a lot of things are going to be occurring. The economic situation is what it is. Mr. Green gave a fantastic presentation yesterday. There is absolutely nothing that I disagree with him about. He made a reference to buying gold and silver. I think that's a really good idea. However, you cannot eat gold and silver. It is imperative that you start storing food, and I will tell you simply why. If they do crash the dollar, which they are going to do, in order to create a global currency and a global government, you won't be able to buy food. He made reference to the currency being devalued 6-1 in the next several months. Gasoline will go to $18, $20 a gallon. Truckers will not be able to deliver product. What you have is what you'll have. Okay? It is imperative to, if you can, start forming within your community gardens, figuring it out. You need to start talking about this. I know most people are simply not open to it. Just do the best you can. I mean, we're all fighting the fight. Now, America is on the front line of this, and the reason is simple. America created a new domain of knowing. America was created to get rid of the aristocracy of the old world, to create something new, to create individual liberties, to create personal freedoms. That was never known in the world before. And we have that. And because of our apathy, we have lost virtually all of those. And it is no one else's fault. It is our own fault. We have known since the 60s that the CIA has been trafficking narcotics. We know this. We have known that the CIA has been assassinating and overthrowing governments. We have known that there's been a cover-up of what there is on the moon and inside our solar system. We know this. We know that there is extraterrestrial life. We know this. That is no longer the discussion. We know that the government has become corrupt. Okay? The people, the personages that rule the planet are not us. They are not human beings. And I will say this with my very last breath. They are not us. Okay? Now,